The unit is in and functioning now. I want to show the plumbing step. What I did was I tapped into the CPVC with a T shark bite, which goes into a 1/2 inch piece of pipe, which goes to a 1/2 inch valve, and then what I did, that comes to a 3/8 outlet. I had to buy a brass adapter. It goes from 3/8 then into the 1/4 inch with a compression fitting, and that's where the copper line feeds into. That's the water line. That's the hot side. So that feeds down and around and right into here. That's the solenoid, which is electrically controlled, 24 volt. I also put the silver foil tape around the entire 4 sides of the humidifier. You can hear it's running now. It's in what's called a test mode, and now it's set to 6. So it's running now. It goes 1 through 7. I'll show that in a second. This is the condensate pump. While it's running, there's some trickling of water that flushes out the minerals and deposits that might be in the water. I guess that helps keep the filter clean longer. I have mine running here to a condensate pump, which pumps that out. Let's go to the control panel. Use the 18 gauge wire, thermostat wire, the brown stuff, with these type of clamps and a self-tapping metal screw. So that holds everything in nice and snug and neat. These wires here are unused. These colors, that's not used. Those are just, I used what's called a 18.5. So 18.5 would be 5 little wires in one bundle of 18 gauge. Okay, so like this is 20 gauge wire. It's 22. There's only 2 wires in that white casing. That's actually just for the sensor that goes outside, the humidity sensor. This is just reading resistance. It's not reading voltage at this end anyway. It tells the computer in here what to do. So right now it's at 41% humidity. It's set at 6. Like I said, this goes 1 through 7, or actually off through 7. Telling you the humidifier is on. When you first turn it on, it'll go into test mode. You turn it all the way to the right to where the 7 is. This thing will start flashing. If it doesn't flash and you have an issue, a wiring problem, this should give you an error code here. It'll say E or R or something like that with the whatever number it is. It's in the manual. It tells you what's what. I put this manual sticker here, so if you were in manual mode, like 0 degrees, it would be 25% humidity, 20 degrees Fahrenheit outdoor temperature, it would be 35 if you have the knob set in that direction. So right now this is reading the return air humidity. I think that's a little high. I think the actual humidity in the house is less. So anyhow, my wires run around in here. They're wired into the furnace. This is on automatic. This was wired up with the schematics automatic. So right now it'll run when it calls for humidity without the furnace actually being on. So just the blower motor will turn on. The blower motor circulates the air throughout the house, and in combination with the fan that's built into this unit. So you don't have to actually have the heat on with the 700 automatic, which just saves some energy. I know there's certain models where the humidifier will only come on when the heat is on, when the actual furnace is on. So this just controls the blower motor. It's got a 24 volt AC hooked in directly to the 120, the 110. There's a transformer, and that powers what you need here, and then you just need external outlet for the fan motor itself. Just for this needs to be plugged in. Some guys, I guess, wire it to the furnace. I don't have anything wired directly to the board except for the 18 gauge wires that feed that where the thermostat would come into. So that bus, they call it, it's a terminal bus. The schematics are in the book. It tells you, the book being the directions, the installation directions. They're pretty clear. If you have some experience with schematics, it's not too bad. I mean, you should be able to understand that if you're a homeowner, DIY guy. There you go. It tells you exactly what goes where. I don't know if that's in focus. Hopefully it is. There we go. So it looks kind of confusing, but if you just take it one step at a time, it's not bad. It does take some time. It's good to install the thing, get the plumbing to it, and then probably do the electrical last if you want. I mean, if you're just trying this out and you don't have much experience, then you could get everything there and just have an electrician or an HVAC person do the final hookup for you if you don't feel comfortable working around the board or electricity. So that would be my advice. It seems to be functioning pretty well. Just be prepared that every time the humidifier is on, it's going to trickle water. There is going to be overflow, so you got to have a catch for that. You got to have a way to get it out. That prevents the what Aprilaire says prevents the minerals and deposits from building up on the filter. It kind of washes the stuff out instead of just sitting there and accumulating. Here's where that 1/4 inch copper line comes in to the solenoid, and then it goes from here. It's electrically controlled, and then it goes in here. It goes up into the unit, which we saw earlier. So that's what that looks like there. This is a copper line with the ferrule nut. So that's that. Make sure that your other end of the line, the supply part here, has that valve. There's a valve on there. You want to be able to shut that off if you have to service it or have a problem. And I think that's pretty much it. So it was pretty straightforward. It does take some time to put in, but they say the health, reasons it's a big advantage to have that and have your house humid, not just for your health, but for the actual house itself, with wood shrinking and cracking and splitting and stuff. Hope that helps someone out. Take it easy.